Friede, Freiheit, Selbstbestimmung. Friede, Freiheit, Selbstbestimmung. Friede, Freiheit, Selbstbestimmung. Hallo!
Free, 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 Reiner free. Alors surtout ne partez pas, c'est pas terminé. Il y a encore quelques vidéos à vous présenter parce qu'on a l'honneur aussi d'avoir un discours de l'avocate qui suit Reiner Fuellmich depuis le début de l'affaire, Katia Wörmer. Alors cette vidéo sera en allemand. Alors, on a en effet dans plusieurs langues. On a certains qui se prononcent en français, d'autres en allemand, puis d'autres en anglais. Alors, Jean-Dominique Michel va aussi prendre la parole. Oui. Alors, il faut que Jean-Dominique Michel revienne sur la place, et puis je pourrai l'appeler. On a des intervenants encore pour les francophones qui vont parler en français. On a Jean-Dominique Michel qui vient de s'exprimer, qui connaît très très bien l'affaire. Et puis on a encore Aspect Stuckelberger. On a aussi une vidéo avec Virginie Dearojo Rekia exactement qui s'exprime aussi en français. Je sais que vous avez eu plus de dialogue, de paroles en allemand pour l'instant, mais en français ça vient encore aussi. J'ai essayé vraiment d'équilibrer un maximum plusieurs langues pour que voilà, chacun puisse être satisfait et comprendre qu'est-ce qui est en cours avec notre pauvre Reiner. Voilà.
Mais ils sont quand même rouges.
Ja, also willkommen bei Bittel beim Rande.
Justement, il faut encore bouger les amis,
Teil
surtout
2.
ne partez pas, restez.
Es ist kalt. Ja, ich werde nicht allzu lange machen, weil es ist einfach wirklich ziemlich kalt. Die Sonne ist gegangen und es wird nicht wärmer. Das ist, deutsch gesagt, arschkalt.
Jean-Dominique, es-tu revenu? C'est exactement ça, il allait boire un chocolat chaud.
Ja, genau. So heiße Schoki war nicht schlecht.
Je pose juste encore la question, est-ce que l'interlocuteur Dominique Kunku est là aujourd'hui?
Katja war noch nicht auf dem Video zu sehen, nein.
Okay. Dominique Kunku.
Die Leute harren aus, aber es ist wirklich heiße Schoki mit Schuss. Ja, er hat jetzt auch nichts dagegen. Also mit Schuss nicht unbedingt, aber heiße Schoki. Das ist wirklich kalt.
Surtout qu'il l'a changé il n'y a pas longtemps.
Ah ben elle est bientôt. Non mais il peut faire changer que les gens.
Ah bah tu
Ah non, c'est avoir clair. Protection, parce que là, c'était pas une protection.
Parce que c'était pas là.
Und da ist dieses UNO-Gebäude. Da wollten wir auch mal raus aus diesen United Nations. Kann jemand die Heizung anmachen? Hätte nichts dagegen. Die Astrid Stückelberger. Kennt ihr sie? Astrid darf auch noch was sagen. Aber ich hoffe bald, weil die Leute schon bald gehen werden. Also die Leute versuchen irgendwie auszuhauen, aber jetzt muss was passieren, sonst werden die Leute gehen. Es ist wirklich kalt. Und der eine hat kurze Hosen an. Ich weiß nicht, wie er das macht. Ich weiß nicht ganz genau, was die warten.
C'est juste que la fameuse affiche
Mais j'ai une cagnotte, il y a une cagnotte, c'est pas de cœur.
Kalt.
It is, you are very lightly clothed.
It's kalt.
Yeah, it's cold, but I'm well.
Hi. Gut? Ja. Ja. Bisschen kalt, hä? So. Heizung eingeschaltet. Spürt ihr schon was? Nein, ich spüre noch nichts. Mach mal vorwärts.
C'est parti. Non, attends, le son, je veux que ça fonctionne. Ah. Parce que ça, le son, il faut qu'on puisse diffuser les messages. Je veux comprendre comment on active ça.
Voilà. Alors, je vous annonce la prochaine intervenante qui va certainement communiquer en français cette fois et qui connaît très bien Reiner Fuellmich. Donc vous serez servi. C'est Astrid Stückelberger que j'invite sur le podium. Voilà.
Brrr, ich zittere. Es ist kalt.
Alors, bonjour Genève. Bon, guten Tag Deutschland und die sprechen Deutsch. And hello England, English speaking people. Yes, okay. Hello to all the international community and in the world that is following us and will listen to this video. We are the 30th of November 2024 and we are in front of the United Nations in Geneva. Je vais parler en français et en anglais, mais je vais parler en français d'abord. Mais je veux faire bilingue parce que j'avais préparé en anglais, parce que l'on a une vidéo en français après. Alors, je disais, c'est la date du 30. Il ne faut pas oublier parce qu'après, on passe les vidéos pendant des années et on ne sait plus quelle date c'est. Donc, on est bien le 30 novembre 2024 et on est devant les Nations Unies dans le parc incroyable des jardins qui essaye de défendre les peuples, le droit des peuples. Et la Commission des droits de l'homme se réunit dans ce bâtiment, j'y étais plusieurs fois, chaque année, dont d'autres qui sont ici avec moi. Et je peux vous dire que vous êtes au centre des droits humains du monde. Alors on est très bien placés et bravo à Kerstin, Sonia et tout le team qui a organisé ça. Parce que moi, j'aurais jamais pu le faire et j'arrive comme un ange dans la place où il faut. Mais merci vraiment d'avoir fait ça. Yeah. So, alors, je vais parler en anglais, mais je vous fais le même speech en français après, d'accord? Parce que j'avais préparé. Ouais. Après, comme ça, je peux faire. So, I will get back to English. I have promised because somebody is absent, so this is a sign that I will do it in English, and then I will do it in French. So, I want to tell those English-speaking who listen to us in the world, who don't know that the United Nations is not in New York for human rights. The human rights is in Geneva, in the United Nations here. We are on the place where all the militants and all the defenders of human rights in the world are sitting and are standing what stands. Every year, the Tamil, the people from Yemeni, the people from Gaza, Palestinian, everybody has the right to speak on this place, and that's the beauty of Geneva and Switzerland. Must be politically correct. Thank you, Geneva. So, you will see some videos later. I was supposed to speak after Reiner Fuellmich talk and to present you a video of my talk with Maître Virginie Desarroges-Richard, who is a co-founder of the grand jury that Reiner Fuellmich has done. So you will have that later, and I will make the closing. But I want to tell you a little bit of the story of Reiner Fuellmich. Why? Because a lot of ignorance exists on what is going on in this world. And we cannot just fall right to the thing that it's all wrong. You have to understand what hero Reiner Fuellmich is. He's a hero. Yes, he's a hero. He's a hero because he has been fighting the biggest dinosaurs in the world. He has been successfully, David. He has successfully been fighting Volkswagen in Germany and the Deutsche Bank. So he was already successful in big global corruption. But what he has done since 2020, he was the first lawyer in 2020 that I was so surprised to listen to, that he was doing science and defending it with his rights. And I was amazed. I thought, a lawyer who get right there and says the PCR test is fake and it is a pandemic of tests and not a pandemic of a virus was incredibly hopeful for me as a scientist, because I could just talk of my part, and he gave me the courage to keep on with that. And so we have to recognize what he did at the beginning. He was the first lawyer to attack Tedros Ghebreyesus of WHO, because it was not a pandemic, and you know this today. And yes, bravo. And he was the first one to attack Dr. Drosten, who is, by the way, not a doctor, it's a fake CV, and this is always a sign of somebody on the wrong side. And Dr. Drosten of Charité has always been there for trying to push the PCR. PCR is not right. Carrie Willis, the Nobel Prize, said you cannot use it to make any diagnosis in a society. No technology can make a diagnosis. It is a human-to-human thing where technology is a help. So he was really there to help. So that was the first thing in early 2020. And what he did is that he created, very smartly, with colleagues he thought he could trust, the CIC, it was called the Corona Ausschuss, but it was the Corona Investigative Committee. He had more than 400 interviews. I was on 3 of them, for WHO and twice for WHO, and then for WHO Europe with Israel when they were meeting for the European region and for the UN. But 400 interviews over the years, and it was very successful. He invited many, and I say he because he was the chief, he was the boss, and he was the one organizing all the questions, answers, and the other 3 were just there and doing some work, but it was clear that he was the boss there. And there was Antonia Fischer and Justus Hoffmann, who left the committee after 1.5 years, I don't know for what reason. And then we got only Viviane Fischer, who is a question if she is really a lawyer. And then Viviane Fischer, and then Reiner Fuellmich. But he was the one organizing and doing the questions of the grand jury, for example. So what happened, and I was in the middle of it, so I can tell you, and I cannot go in all the other details, but it's a step, a milestone. It was in September 2022. I was with the Israel Committee, CIC of Reiner. I had to help them and speak about what's going on. And I was looking for Reiner, and Reiner was not there. I said, Viviane, what are you doing? And she was in and out and not there and not doing her job. And 2 days later, she announced that Reiner was excluded of his own committee that he created. You have to know that, don't forget. Wolfgang Woodard, who was on H1N1 to try to defend it was not a virus, but after that he turned his jacket again. And he was a traitor, like Viviane, and both together said he left with the cash. I mean, basically, he left, they say embezzlement, but for the people, you cannot understand it. He had already, he's smart, so the Germans are very good in economy. So they said, we have a lot of donation. They're going to block the donation, so we have to place it in gold. We have to place the donation here. We have to make some mechanisms so they cannot take our money. He had nothing in his bank. Nothing in his bank. He was kicked out, and all his assets were blocked in California and here. He's an international lawyer in Germany and in California. So they had to leave to Mexico, where they found a place to live. And that's the first step. So you have to see, you see all the work he did. He created, after the CIC, the ICIC, the criminal court. And he added the criminal because he knew that this was a crime. And it's in Mexico that the things happened. Very strange. Third treason from the government. And he was in Mexico and he lost his passport, but actually they stole it because he had to then go and renew his passport. And the German embassy in Mexico said, oh, we have work in the embassy, so you have to go to the office in the airport. And when he went, an airplane was waiting for him. He was arrested illegally with no warrant, no reason. And he illegally was he had the extradition. He was deported to his own country for torture today, you can say, if you take a shortcut. But you see that it was already at the beginning an arrest that was completely unlawful from the German side of point of view, but also the international point of view. And nobody said anything. Some lawyer tried and there was nothing. So from then on, he was not supposed, because he's presumed innocent, he was not supposed to be in prison. He was supposed to have electronic bracelets, but not to be in prison. And from then on, it became very strange. So you have to know those steps. It was an arbitrary, the second unlawful thing after the arrest and extradition is that it was an arbitrary detention. I say this word because those are words of the United Nations. Arbitrary detention is a crime. You cannot do that. So the only way, because Germany cannot do anything against Germany, is not moving, is to go to the European Court and then to go to the UN. But now we have to go directly to the UN because it is not even moving at European, and I have to tell you why. So he was innocent, electric bracelet, and he was put in the highest security prison. Again, why? He is presumed innocent. What did he do? He was treated like a criminal, but with the other prisoner. Then he started to help the other prisoner to see how justice in his life is always there. And what the big step is that he was proven innocent. They found out the government was setting him up in Mexico, that we could see before. But then started an illegal, and that's another thing, unfair trial. That's a UN thing. Unfair trial and public hearing. The process and the procedure are illegal internationally. And this is why when they stepped at his birthday in May and they started saying that he cannot be together with the other prisoner and he put him in forced isolation, that was another step. And the last step today is torture. And torture is not just physical. Torture, even the smallest affection to the dignity of human being, to make him kneel, to make him have chain, is torture. The definition of torture, go and see it. It is very important. So the UN term is, and we put it in the poster that you see somewhere here, it is torture and cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment. This is what the United Nations Commission of Human Rights talks all the time. And Germany, Rosdorf prison, I have a suspicion, is already on the radar for illegal and forced imprisoning, because even Reiner Fuellmich is saying it. So we need to see what we can do with that, and we are many lawyers to say, no, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm supporting them because they don't know the mechanism of the UN. And I know that, and when we live in Geneva, I have friends here, we know the system, and they need us, so we have to help them. And so this is something to bring, because it's the last thing we put on the poster, corrupted justice. And it is massive, not only justice, massive violation of human rights. I think many others have talked about human rights, but it is massive. It is not only in the Charter of the United Nations, it is all the rights to speak, the right to housing, the right to fair trial, the right to expression. He actually is keeping freedom in his mind because he speaks. And you will listen to his video, is very good. He is keeping his freedom of position, of spirit, very high spirit and very strong. So you see that he is free within a judicial system that imprisons him. And that's where I'm going to quote Franz Kafka. Franz Kafka is a philosopher who wrote a book on the trial. He's German. And I was looking for a quote. And he said, it's in the nature of this judicial system, and he was in Germany, that one is condemned not only in innocence, but also in ignorance. Because if people don't know, they cannot say it is not good. What you're doing is an act of knowledge and a fight against ignorance. And I'm going to add, it is also condemning not only in innocence, but also in ignorance. It is also in organized kidnapping, in intentional cruelty and torture. And it is intentional. The lawyers can prove it. You have to say that. It is on the breach of all ethical conditions to do no harm. They're doing harm, no benefits. They don't let him decide, and there is not fair justice. So also the ethics. And we often say it's Kafkaian. It is much more than Kafkaian. It is an arrest in his own country. Can you imagine? You are arrested, deported to your own country, which has suffered the World War II by the Nazi, and you are treated with people who act like Nazis. It is incredibly Kafkaian. It's crazy. Also, they betrayed everything. His colleagues, he's betrayed by his own lawyers, the system of law, in wrong procedures at the tribunal, in wrong in the prison, in wrong conditions, in wrong in the treatment. I mean, I can keep on. In refusing that he's sick, so the doctor cannot come. He wanted to say he's sick, and he said, no, you're not sick, you cannot have a doctor. So that's not fair. And by the judges and the tribunals, there is no respect for Reiner as a lawyer, and his lawyers themselves are not respected and are threatened. You cannot get worse. So there is a paradox in this. If you see the craziness, is that he's, for me, a prisoner of war, because he has all the elements of a prisoner of war. I've worked with the Yemenis on their prisoners, and it is exactly the same. And the worst is he's prisoner of war of his own country that created the Tribunal of Nuremberg, and they are violating all the points of the Nuremberg trial. Can you see how crazy this is? So what I think is that divinely, if I could say, Reiner is helping us all to have a better world because he is revealing the unlawful law. So it is a battle of law against law. It's a battle of law against unlawful law that concerns us as people. So he is helping the whole judicial system to make us see, and make the corrupted see, and make the media see who don't understand by ignorance that this is a violation of law, of natural law, of human rights, of the constitutions, of the UN Charter, of all the conventions on torture, on arbitrary arrest. I mean, can you see how massive this is? So the conclusion is that he's a prisoner of war. Okay, so are we using the right instruments? You know that here there is an agency that was created by Dufour, who is the International Red Cross and the Red Crescent Society, the ICRC. It's right up there. You walk 5 minutes, you see it. It is for prisoners of war. And we should call the ICRC immediately to go and visit the prison, immediately to take the facts. And then we have facts, and we stop that prison. And we're going more radical with the lawyers. It's not just liberate, it is arrest the judges that are corrupted, stop the system, make these prison visits. That's what we do in the Middle East when there is a corruption. Say it to the media. The media who doesn't say it is complicit, and it goes on and on. It makes a big change. So we request, as you said, I could listen from the car, but it was a bit, I think they have hacked the computer. We request his immediate release of prison, as a hero, and we request that at the same time, the list of corrupted judges and in the tribunal be arrested too. Yes, thank you. It's Kafka judgment. Second, we have to request, as he is liberated, immediately a fair trial process to declare his innocence, to re-establish his reputation. It is very important for reparation of the new law system that will be created after that, anti-corruption, but for his mental health, it's very important. For the pressure on the others is important. Then the third is that we have to return to him and his family, first his wife, and he has no contact as he should with his family and his wife. He couldn't even go and visit his mother dying. He could not go to the burial. So we request immediately that his money is returned, his house, all his assets, and that he can have a fantastic life and recognition in the future. Thank you. Yeah, so, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So when you consider that, consider it's a prisoner, a political prisoner, but a prisoner of a war that we all are doing against evil forces, I would say, because it cannot be named another way. So you have a big role to play. The lawyers can, you will see in the video, Virginie de Araujo-Richard, there are many lawyers together that are getting in there to help. And you can, as a lawyer, declare, like Virginie de Araujo-Richard did, to the Observatory of the Lawyers in Danger, the Lawyers Observatory of Lawyers in Danger in your own country. It is international, and declare that he's in danger as a lawyer, and we have to arrest the jury and everybody. Yeah, just anti-Kafka. Yeah. So, and we as people keep on. Take the banners, fantastic banners, and yeah, we will keep on, and we will keep on go fighting against ignorance for innocent, because we could be in his situation. Bravo, and thanks you for being there for the English speaking. So I have to do it in French now, but I was very tired. I will see.
So, das war jetzt Englisch. Französisch, glaube ich, die meisten haben Englisch verstanden. Ich lasse jetzt mal reden. Das war jetzt ziemlich, es ist jetzt ein bisschen frisch hier. Ich glaube, ihr habt jetzt Englisch mitbekommen. Ich hoffe, ihr habt es verstanden. Und ich hoffe, ihr habt das. Ich werde es dann noch schauen. Ich schaue jetzt mal ein bisschen aufwärmen kann. Ich merke, jetzt bin ich so wirklich ausgekühlt. Und mal gucken. Bist du nicht auf dem Weg? Kommst du? Ah, jetzt heißt es nicht für mich. Okay. Ich hoffe, ihr habt es mitbekommen. Also sie werden noch das Video zeigen. Aber das Video habe ich dann auch. Das kann ich vielleicht auch noch morgen Abend zeigen, wenn Sie nicht seht. Also das ist alles gut. Das kriegen wir hin. Und nein, nichts verstanden. Also gut, Englisch. Wenn du Englisch nicht kannst, das ist ein bisschen doof, verstehe ich. Aber Sie werden es wahrscheinlich Deutsch machen. Also hier, die Gruppe wird immer ein bisschen kleiner. Den Leuten ist einfach zu kalt. Und mal schon. Ah, ja. Da gibt es da so ein paar lustige Menschen da drüben. Okay, ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns vielleicht noch mal später, weiß nicht, mal gucken. Ich muss jetzt mich wirklich aufwärmen, jetzt merke ich, jetzt bin ich gefühlt 100 Grad minus. In dem Sinne, sie macht ja Französisch und dann werden wir uns vielleicht später nochmal sehen, okay? Also in dem Sinne, bis dann und glaubt mir nichts, was ich sage, recherchiert selber und verbinde die Punkte. Dann tschüss zusammen.